You never learn anything by talking. You only learn by listening.
Welcome back to another episode of The Pursuit of Purpose. My name is Chris Kiefer, and today I am here with some conversations that I've been having with my grandpa. He is 96 years old, lives in Rathdrum, Idaho. He's actually lived in Rathdrum his entire life, and I've been meeting with him weekly over the last 6 months and just asking him about his life. So I'm going to be chopping these episodes and these conversations up, I should say, into episodes in the coming weeks, and I'll kind of mix them in with other episodes. So they're just kind of the highlights of the conversations that I've had with my grandpa. And all I have to say is, if you have a living grandparent or maybe a parent who is getting into their 90s, it's been an incredible experience to get to ask my grandpa about what life was like not that long ago. And one of the things that I found really interesting was he's been alive for almost a century. And when you hear him talk about how life was then and how little they had and how simple their life was compared to the craziness that is today's world, I just found it very nurturing and just like grounding to be reminded of all the blessings that we have in our life. So take a listen. I would love feedback on this. What questions would you like me to ask my grandpa? Anything like that, please shoot me an email or text me. My website is chriskiefer.com. You can find a form there to send in some questions. But really appreciate you all listening and enjoy the conversations with my grandpa, Bill. Did you guys have any holiday traditions?
4th of July.
What did you guys do for 4th of July?
Well, when we was kids, we light firecrackers. They had them little round balls, and if you throw them, it gets something that's really solid. They bang, make a noise,
So they did have firecrackers back then?
Oh, hell yeah.
Just gunpowder wrapped up?
Yeah. Just like they are today, I guess.
Where would you buy those?
Oh, hell, you could buy them any place. Do you ever have them firecrackers? They're about the size of your little finger, maybe a little longer. If you hold them, pinch them at the end, you can light them and hold them right in your hand when they go off.
You would do that?
Oh, hell yeah. Everybody did.
A little excitement.
You gotta pinch them pretty hard.
Very at the bottom?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I remember one time in high school, we were at a friend's house and they had a bonfire in their backyard. It was around 4th of July. And one of the dumbest things I ever did was I took a handful of firecrackers and I tossed them in the fire.
Oh.
And people lasted about, I put it in there just kind of casually and walked away like I was throwing a paper plate or something in there. Started walking away. And there was like screams and people diving behind chairs, because what I didn't think about was when the firecracker blows up, it's going to shoot the coals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those went flying, and I was like, oh, that was not smart. I didn't think all the way through.
But the only thing we did it was on Halloween. We had Halloween, and back then it was a lot different than it is now. We tipped over the outhouses and wagons. We tipped over about anything we could get our hands on.
That was what you did for Halloween instead of trick-or-treating?
Yeah. We'd tip over anything we could get our hands on.
So that was the pranks?
Yeah. We tipped over an outhouse for Harry Hutchison. We was kind of jogging down the street. We heard that door open up and we started running, and Louis Young was he was a slowpoke or something. He didn't run, and Harry shot him right in the rear end with a shotgun.
Shot at him?
Oh, hell yeah. Put some pellets right in Louis' butt. He was mad.
Well, what would happen, like, let's say that he shot the kid and killed him, right?
Oh, wait, we was too far down the road for killing somebody.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like nowadays, if you even pointed a gun at a kid, someone would get in trouble,
you would, yeah.
Did your parents or his parents or anything say, like, did you go back and apologize to him or go talk to the guy? Or
hell no.
What did they say?
I don't know. He did nothing. That was the only thing that happened.
So your parents or Louis' parents never
You think we went home and told our parents what we did?
So you just took the shot out of his butt and called
Yeah,
it good?
yeah. I don't know who took the shot out of his rear end. Had to teach him to run faster.
Yeah. What was your job in the military? Like, what did you do on a daily basis?
Drill, you know.
Would you carry a gun around and stuff? Or is
A
that...
BAR.
What was that?
That's a Browning automatic rifle. It's a lot bigger and heavier than the regular M1,
Okay.
like everybody else had. That BAR, like I say, it's an automatic. We walked all day long, and then we went up this hill, and this is where we were going to spend the night up there. We had to dig foxholes, you know, and all this kind of crap. So they lined us up, and with a BAR, I had to be in a certain spot. So I we was digging foxholes. It was hard digging. You got them little shovels, you know. So here come this 4th platoon sergeant. Kiefer, we're going to have to move you. You have to go over there and dig your hole over there. And him and I got into a little scuffling match. And I took my shovel and I threw it as far down that hill as I could throw it. Boy, him and I started. We was just about ready to have fisticuffs, and here come the 1st sergeant. He told that platoon sergeant to get back over there. He reached down, he got a stick. He drew a line in a room. He says, Kiefer, this is your foxhole. And he walked off. That was the end of it. I don't know, my shovel's probably still down over that hill.
So you had already dug it, and he drew
well, I was digging mine, and it was hard digging with them little shovels.
It sounds like your parents were poor, and you learned very early on to you just had to take jobs and do anything you could to make money here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Was that significantly different than your friends, or was everyone kind of like that?
Everyone was like that. When I worked on the railroad, there was about 15, 16 of us high school kids working on the railroad.
And were you making money to bring back to your family?
50 cents an hour.
No, but you would pay your family or help buy stuff or whatever, or was that your money to buy what you needed?
No, I didn't. I was just buying stuff. The only money I give my folks is when I was in the Army. I give them $50 a month of my salary, my paycheck. It gave me $22 a month to live on in the Army.
Was that enough?
Had to be. That's what I told Doreen. I should have been like Howard and Bob.
What'd they do?
They kept all their money.
Did they go to the war too?
Both of them went to Korea.
Oh, okay.
Not during the war, though.
I'm assuming you were the oldest, right?
Yeah.
And so did you feel more obligated, or were the family circumstances different?
I didn't feel no obligated. They was just, Dad had a heart attack, and so I sent $50 a month home.
What did your jobs, did you have a job while you were in high school?
Yeah. Well, I started working on the railroad. Well, I started working down there building homes for Pring when I was 15. But I told him I was 16 because you had to be 16 years old to work down there. And he kept asking me, he says, you bring your birth certificate today? No, I forgot it. I went that way until I was 2 weeks before I was 16. He says, I can't go with you no more. I got to lay you off. So he laid me off. When I was 16, I went to work for the Milwaukee Railroad.
Have you heard my history teacher told me that back during the war, this would have been like the Civil War, I think. You needed to be 18 years old to be in the Army.
Yeah.
And some kids would write, I don't know how many kids did this, but on the bottom in their heel of their shoe, they wrote the number 18 in their shoe. So they'd say, how old are you? And they'd say, I'm over 18, sir. They were standing over the number 18 in their shoe because they wanted to fight, and they wouldn't let you if you weren't.
Oh, I know Jack Good was one. He went in the Army when he was 17.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He lied about he said, I just lied about my age.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't question him.
Did you have any influential teachers in school that you recall that were your favorite or were?
I had one. Dave Wicks. He was our superintendent.
Oh yeah.
He was a good man. He came from Harrison. He's kind of a tall, slim guy. He's the one that he started boxing, and there he started cross country. He's the one that started football. He started a lot of stuff in that school. Before, all they had was just basketball. That cross country was a 4-mile run.
Oh wow. Did you do that?
Like I got to run it once in a while with the kids. A guy you would never, ever imagine could run that. It would be Pistorius.
Oh yeah.
If you knew him, he was just kind of like an elk. He started out, everybody passed him, everybody, but he kept the same pace right from the start to the finish.
And he won a lot?
Oh, hell yeah. That was,
awesome.
yeah.
Do you remember what the first thing that you and Betty fought over was? Like, is there a memory of like, this one time?
I don't think we ever did get in a fight.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't think so.
There was no like debating.
She just wouldn't say nothing. I mean,
yeah.
One time I was at the Shady, and Biz and Marvin come in, and it says, we're going up to Kellogg and play cards. And I said, no, I'm going home early tonight. They wanted me to go up with them. And I said, no, I'm going home early. They said, well, we're leaving early. We'll leave up there early. And I said, well, if you guys leave early, I'll go up. But I ain't playing any cards 'cause I don't know how to poker, and I didn't know much about poker. But they played, and I was dinking around doing something else, I guess, drinking. At 11 o'clock, they quit gambling and started home. We got about 200 feet from the top of the hill, and Marvin run out of gas. I said, what the hell? There's nothing else to do. So I get out of the car, and I headed for Coeur Lane. And I got about probably a mile or two down the hill. I heard something behind me, and I heard Biz coming. And we went just a little ways further, and a state cop stopped and talked to Marvin up on top of the hill there. And Marvin told him that we took off and we was walking. And that state cop picked us up, took us down to the Y, where the tavern was, right at the end of Sherman. And we got a 2-gallon can of gas and started walking back. And I can't ever remember getting another ride from, I think we walked the whole damn way.
Back to the car?
Back to the car.
And you're saying the top of the hill, like outside by where that bridge is now? That's how far back you walked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Clear at the top of 4th of July.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's how, and then we got in we got home about 5:30. The sun was shining. And I walked in the house, and Betty was up, and she just turned and walked away, never said a word. I remember saying, I'm going to bed. I went in and went to bed.
So that was the potential fight that was avoided because she just didn't want to bring anything up?
That's the way she always did it. She just never said nothing, just walked away.
Do you remember the first date that you ever went on with Betty, or where you guys went?
I think when I first took Betty out, I was a sophomore. And I just took her out once, because I didn't have no car, so.
So you coordinated with Elmer to do that?
Just once.
Yeah.
All them farmers had cars. Biz, Norman, Elmer, Don, they all had cars. I finally got one when I worked on the railroad, though. I wish I still had it.
Which one was that?
It was the first V8 Ford ever made. Look, they made a Model A that year, and then about halfway through the year they made this Model B, they called it, and it was the first V8 Ford ever made.
Fast?
Yeah, it was. I had later on I had me a DeSoto, a 38 DeSoto. I stopped at a place over there in Post Falls, and Don Satchel was in there. He had a 41 Oldsmobile, and he raced everybody with that Oldsmobile. So him and I raced across the prairie, and I beat him with that 38 DeSoto.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It had an overdrive in it and everything. That was a good car.
And that was, when you say race across the prairie, on the fields or on the road?
No, on the Highway 41.
Oh, okay.
But in them days, hell.
No one was out there?
No, hell no. You could walk across prairie and never meet a car.
What attracted you to Betty originally?
What attracted you to Natalie? Same thing. I just kind of liked her when she came over from the 8th grade. I even kind of liked her then. Probably new. She was new, I guess. Well, I noticed Betty when she came over to graduate from the 8th grade. Then I went out there and got a job with Chase, and they only lived about a block. Chase lived up Hayden Avenue from where Betty lived. Chase, he had a farm. He had about 5 or 6 cows. I helped him milk them cows. Went out and gathered them up, and I had other things to do. But I used to ride down past Betty's place. I had my bicycle. I never did see her or Donna. I seen Joan and Jerry once. They was out in the front yard playing. I never seen Betty.
And you didn't stop to talk to him. You just
Oh
ride
no,
by
yeah,
and see him.
yeah.
You were hoping to see her?
Yeah, that's what I went down there for.
That's why you spent all this time working instead of playing. You were trying to ride by her house.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening. If you found anything interesting, I'd love to hear feedback. What other questions would you like to ask my grandpa? I'm still going to his house weekly and meeting with him, and would love to get your feedback on what you found interesting, what else you'd like to know about life back then. But yeah, send those over to me when you have a moment. We'll see you next time. And now a quick word from our sponsor, which is Boolean Review. Boolean is a review software that my wife and I own, and we sell this software to home service businesses. So I know there are many different people that listen to this podcast, but if you know someone, an electrician, an HVAC business, a painting company, maybe a coffee stand, someone that is providing service to customers and get found online by customers, we would love to talk to them. This is a review software that is the highest converting review software in the home service space in particular. And if you're wondering what that means, if you have 100 clients in your business, the typical business gets between 1% to 2% of those customers. So for every 100, they would get one person or 2 people to leave them a review on Google. Other review softwares get between 3 and 5%, and the Boolean review software gets 20% of your customers to leave you Google reviews, and these are fantastic Google reviews with lots of words, keywords that are going to help with SEO, pictures, stories, the names of your employees. So if you want to learn more, check out booleanreview.com. And now back to the episode.